Hi. This worked great last year where I recorded all the important stuff about the mission trip when people at the interest meeting and they could watch it throughout the year to know all the information they need to know. So we're going to do it again and hopefully you can get all your questions answered. All right, let's get started. I'm going to screen share and then you'll see exactly what I'm seeing. So here we go. Mission Trip 2015 interest meeting. Where are we going? We're going to Logan, West Virginia, 19th through the 26th, 2015. Same year as we've gone the last couple of years during dead time for sports. That's the idea. A lot of times that's not always the case anymore, but that's at least the idea. And the total cost of the trip is $650. You can read there all about what I know so far about Logan. It's in West Virginia. It's 4 hours away. It's Appalachia, kind of like what you envision, except there's more diversity there. Predominantly African American community, so that's kind of interesting in Appalachia because it's not what we always think. And we'll be working with Kids Club, and we'll be working on work projects like minor home repair and painting and yard work, usually for elderly people. And then there might be other opportunities to like help other ways around their house. So you can kind of read there about stuff that we're doing. It even has some evening activity suggestions. These are just what they've done in the past, though. We get more information as we get closer. So one of the questions I always get asked is, why don't we do service locally? You take kids across the country and you do service with them. So why not do it here in Louisville? My answer is we do. I spend the year planning service projects for students throughout the year. Middle school, 8th grade at confirmation is mainly local service. And then we do stuff throughout the year for high school as well. But I know what I've noticed, though, is with teenagers, they need to take that moment to get out of their bubble, to step out of their comfort zone, to kind of get that fire, that servant's heart. There's interest, they're busy kids. So getting them a chance to step out of their comfort zone and move, trying something new far away from all their normal distractions. But if you want to do service locally, just by all means, keep an eye on emails. We go to Ronald McDonald House. We serve the meals often. We recently went to the Indigent Cemetery and cleaned the graves, cleaned up the grave sites and stuff like that in the Indigent Cemetery. And we go to St. Vincent de Paul. We do all sorts of stuff throughout the year, especially like around Lent. There's lots of opportunities. So it's just a way to enhance that local experience. Why don't we go internationally? And the other, like, you should do service here or you should go across the world. That's not necessary. A couple reasons is cost. People have said the cost of the trip is just getting higher and higher and higher, and that's why flying is difficult now. And so if we were to go across the country, that'd be a way bigger financial commitment. And then also, the world is not what it used to be. It feels a little, I'm scared personally as the leader to take someone else's children out of the country. I would want them to be with their parents if there was a medical emergency or some other kind of crisis. You'd want them to be with their parents. So it's just I wouldn't want to take them where they couldn't easily access the stuff that they're used to, and their parents couldn't easily get to them as well in case there's an emergency. So that's why we don't go international. Now, I don't say that it's not an awesome experience, and I think that's an experience to do as a family. And St. Al's offers international trips that parents can go with students if you want to have that kind of experience. But with the high school trip, when it's mainly high school students going, we stay within the United States because there's so much need within our own country. There was one trip where a student totally got overwhelmed and freaked out, but not realizing how much the type of poverty that he was seeing, he only thought was in the third world. And we were in Louisiana, down on the Gulf Coast, and he didn't realize people live like that. And I have a feeling Appalachia will be like that when we're in Logan. So we go with a mission trip company. We go with YouthWorks, and people ask, well, why do you do that? YouthWorks takes care of the nitty-gritty details, as I like to say. When we get to the YouthWorks mission trip site, I can actively participate with the students. I'm no longer worrying who's going to eat when and all that kind of stuff. There's people there. That's their job for the summer to do it. And I can actively participate and lead the students through the experience, helping them process versus thinking of one step ahead onto the next thing. They make sure that we're safe. They make sure that we're fed. And they make sure that we have work projects to do with the community that they have built relationships with. So this will be my, I believe I said ninth YouthWorks trip. So I believe in the company, and I know, and I appreciate how they make my job easier to better help serve you guys. So who's YouthWorks? That's one question we asked. And they just celebrated their 20th anniversary. They've been in ministry. It was started by a youth minister who saw a need in '94 to let, like, he went on mission trips and thought, it would be great if somebody could do this, help me make this better. And so he had a vision, and it's grown and grown and grown to this big. There's even international. There's trips to Canada and Mexico now too, through this company. So one guy's vision grew and grew and grew. And on the 20th anniversary of their organization, they kind of reworked some of their core purpose and values. They used to have like a set sheet, but now you kind of see that they've made it even more transparent. You can see exactly what they're about. So their purpose is to exist to connect teenagers to God, to each other and communities throughout life-changing Christ-centered mission trips. They work all year round just to make that happen. And their vision is, you can read that they're providing life-changing Christ-centered mission trips is our way of serving God's multi-denominational church. That's one thing with YouthWorks, that it's multi-denominational, and it actually is. Ecumenical Baptist. It really is that there's a board of trustees that plan things, and there's Catholics, and there's Episcopalians, and there's Protestants, all on the same board. Because when it comes to faith, the service part is we're the same, no matter what the differences are. We're the same in that aspect of it, that Christ called us as his followers to serve other people and be the hands and feet of Christ. So they work, that's their goal, is to make that possible for teenagers and to empower us adults to make it easy for them to do so. They break down their values a little bit more, and you can pause and read all these all the way through. I'm not going to do that with you, but their value point at the top points on that, like youth, they're there just for the kids. That's the first one they have on there. Their energy and passion and vision is all about the teenagers. They want to make sure that youth have an awesome experience that can bring them closer to God. They're also about their communities. Some of their communities that they've been involved with, like they have mission trip sites that have been there since the beginning. For 20 years they've been serving there, and they can see how we are part of a bigger puzzle. Like we're one little piece, one little week there, but the group that's like the YouthWorks community that's making a difference across the country every summer. And they really work to build long-lasting relationships. I can name people from each community that we've gone to, that we worked with, that is a friend of YouthWorks because they've been there. They also respectful service. When they say they're ecumenical and they want to go serve other people, they mean that. It's not proselytizing. It goes on to the next one, that relationship is part of it. They're there to serve and to do the work and to build relationships. There to tell people that, oh, you're going to hell, or anything like that. The point is that we're doing this to answer our call, and maybe you can learn from our example with servant leadership. And relationships are the most important thing. Houses will get painted, lawns will get mowed, all that kind of stuff, but building relationships with the people that we're working with is super important. They also appreciate diversity. I think that comes back to the ecumenical thing, that there's different styles of worship, there's different stories, there's different experiences of how you experience God, and we want to celebrate all of that, not just what we're used to in our own bubble. And I think that's an important piece with this too. And development, so you can see that we're constantly changing. It's not going to be set in one thing. That's why they redid these visions a long time ago. So you can kind of get a more of a glimpse there in YouthWorks. So you want to read more of it, just pause it and watch. So what will the week look like when we get there? The first weekend, we'll spend in prayer and reflection, do some tours to things, kind of let the kids get to know each other and have some fun. I kind of see it as like kids who grown up together at the parish or went to school here at St. Anne's. They're like, I don't know if we can be best friends because we fought once in second grade. They can get over all that kind of drama, silly stuff, and just get to know each other and get in the right mindset to do service when they get to the mission trip site. Kind of unwind. I challenge them to unplug. They can bring phones and all that kind of stuff, but I challenge them to put them away and not have them with them like they normally would, so they could start getting their mind in the right spot. We use that first weekend to kind of relax and get ready, because as you can see, YouthWorks, we're always busy. There's not a dull time. 7 a.m. is breakfast, which means you got to get up before that so you don't eat in your jammies. Then we have devotion and quiet time. For those introverts that need a little processing through a journal. And then we pray, go to the work site, and we're at the work site from about 9 to 3. And then we go to the shower site and then come back, have dinner, have an evening activity, which will be out in the community. So we get to know the community that we're serving better. And then club, which is praise and worship music with a witness talk by one of the staff members. And then church group time, which is just us processing the day and weaving that catechetical thread. If there's something that connects to Catholicism in particular, that's my chance to kind of put that in there and stuff like that. So we get that chance, even though it is multi-denominational. So where will we stay? The first weekend will probably be a retreat center or like a national park. We'll have beds. I like to make sure that we have beds because when we get to YouthWorks, we sleep on the floor. You can bring an air mattress, but it's usually in a church or a school and we sleep on the floor. So the first weekend, I try to make it a little bit more luxurious because the rest of the weekend's going to be kind of rough. So we'll stay on a church or a school. YouthWorks arranges all of that, and we'll have more of that information as it gets closer. But you can kind of see there that it's pretty simple, simplistic, living in community with the other people that were there. There'll be other people coming from around the country, and so they'll be our neighbors physically, really closely while we're sleeping in the same areas. But boys and girls are in separate sleeping quarters, of course. Then they shall not overlap. But so that shouldn't be a concern. But yeah, so like, wonderful communities let YouthWorks come in and take over the buildings throughout the summer. Student to chaperone ratio, we take 3 minivans and we see 5 students in them and then 2 adults in the front. So it's a ratio of 2 to 5. The idea behind that is there's a navigator to help the adult driving to get where they need to go. And then if something were to happen to one of the adults, if they get sick or they had to go run an errand for somebody else or something, there's another adult that's able to drive. You never know what's going to happen. So we learned that the hard way when I got heat stroke. So that's why we have the extra drivers to make sure that doesn't be a problem again. And then who makes up YouthWorks staff? That's a picture down there of our staff from last year. There are 4 people on staff, and their job is just to be there for the mission for the kids. That's their job all summer. They're usually college students or graduate students, and they are trained well by YouthWorks, and they are all first aid certified. They handle most situations with them, and it's their job. One person is the site director, and they're usually the oldest person. That's the girl in the cheetah pants there. They're the site director. They run the whole, they oversee the rest of the staff and the rest of the site. And then there's a person who's in charge of work projects. And then there's a person who's in charge of kids club. If it's a kids club site, they run the whole programming with kids club. They're kind of the head teacher. And then there's a person who's in charge of club and evening activities. So they all have a job. They work together as a staff, and that's very prayerful. They sleep on the floor all summer. We're there for a week. It's very interesting. Like, the people feel called to this, and it's one of those things that's life-giving to them as they help us have a better experience. And they're there 9 weeks. We're only there 1. So it's really interesting. And what makes me confident is that's their job to be there that summer. I've gone on other trips before where staff has full-time jobs and they're coming and going and they're just not there. But with YouthWorks, they're there. They are dedicated, and that's their job that summer, is to make us have a wonderful experience while we're there serving the community. Why does it cost so much if we're not flying? That's one big question I always get. Gas is expensive, and we also have to rent cars. Like, if we were to be still flying, the trip would cost over $1,000 easily. So now we try to stay in a 4 to 6 hour driving distance, and the cost can kind of stay where it's at because it covers the expenses of the food and lodging in the first weekend, the rental cars while we have them for the full week, and we have to also get insurance on the cars, and then also gas money for the whole time, because when we get to YouthWorks, we still have to drive. It's a way that the cost is still pretty high, but it's cheaper than if we flew. Is it possible to raise the total cost of the trip? That is absolutely possible, but you need to be willing to do the work. The opportunities are given to you. I always say my trip is paid for. I don't have to do any of this. This is for you guys to have a better experience. So like, the opportunities are there. There's a handout that will be attached somewhere in this that has a breakdown of the fundraisers already scheduled. Put them on your calendar, make them a priority, or pay the difference. That's kind of how it works out. There's a kind of look at it. If you need the help, we're willing to provide it. You got to do the work, though. So you'll see on the commitment form that there's a January 15th date, and people are always like, what's that mean? There's deadlines with YouthWorks that January 15th is my last time to drop numbers without being financially penalized. So I can, like, if I don't fill my spots by that point, then I'm just going to drop some of those spots. And so if somebody were to like sign up and like, oh yeah, I'll go, and they're like, whoa, this is real money, then they try to back out, that doesn't work, because I'm out the money still after January 15th. So that's why when you commit, you realize that you are financially responsible if you have to drop out of the trip before January 15th after January 15th, without filling it with another person. You're financially responsible for the entire cost, because I still have to pay for those things for that student. So that's an important date to remember. And can I get service hours if I go on this? Yeah, it's really up to your organization, like your school, if you're in Beta Club or Scouts or whatever you need service hours for. It's really up to them how much it is. I have up to 50 hours. Some places don't want to have it in different categories and all that kind of stuff, but I'm willing to work with you. You have to bring me the form. I'm not going to be like, oh yes, I'll contact your organization. You still need to do the work to get that to me. But yeah, a lot of people use this as, do this in the summer, and then the next school year they have their service hours done at school. So it's a good opportunity. How do I register? The most important question of all. So you turn in a deposit, and you see that there are 2 deposits this year. There's non-refundable, and note the different dates and rates. So in the past, people like hold on to like wait till last second to register. It stresses me out. I got bills. I'm not getting money coming in. So my hopefully deterrent here is registration is $50 before Christmas. Then after Christmas, it's $100. And then at the January 15th date, if I still have spots left, I'm going to drop them. I'm not even going to fight with it. So this is kind of how that works. So you turn in your deposit before Christmas, you owe $50. After Christmas, it's $100. And then you turn in your commitment form, which states that you understand it's a financial responsibility, it's non-refundable, your deposit, and that you are committing to this trip. And then we have 15 spots. They're filled on a first come, first served basis. As I film this video right now, there are 5 spots filled, so 10 spots are available. They can fill up quick, they can fill up slow. Never really know. So if you really are interested, you got to hop on it, because we don't want you to miss the opportunity. Like, oh, I'll have time. Not necessarily. You won't necessarily have time. So, yep, that is the end of our presentation on the frequently asked questions. It's a really awesome experience that parents can come along to and as chaperones, or students. There's just some really neat opportunities here. It's something that is life-giving to me, that each year makes me realize what I do and inspires me for the rest of the year. It's for me, it's for the kids, it's for everyone. It's just a great opportunity, and I take us up on it. If you have any questions, you can always give me a call or shoot me an email, or obviously text me, because my phone keeps getting text messages during. Thanks. Have a great day.